Hi everyone, welcome to Smriti Special. We are at my home kitchen today and I'm going to show you my recipe for multigrain dosa. So let's get started. So the first thing that we need here is some urad dal. Now the basic recipe for dosa just has urad dal and the white rice, but this is my version, which is multigrain. So now we're going to take the urad dal. Now this is how simple this recipe is. This is for the first time I'm not even having everything measured out because I want to show you how simple this is. This is all about proportions. The two things that you need is urad dal and the white idli rice. You can even use any other starchy rice that you want, and then you can play with anything. So another legume, any legume that you want. Today I'm using white beans. Okay, you can use soya bean if you want. And then we need 3 grains. So I'm adding some red rice. This provides a really good quality fiber. So just in there, simple and easy. We make this recipe quite a lot in big batches at home because it's like a standard breakfast. Now this is some steel cut oats. Okay. Now the proportion goes like 2 legumes for 4 grains. So 1 legume is always fixed, which is the urad dal. Okay. Now what I'm adding here is some quinoa, which is our 4th grain. This is some mixed quinoa. So again, just to recap, we have our urad dal, which is always going to be 1 legume, which is going to help this ferment. And then you have the rice, which is going to give it a really nice binding. Any rice you can use which has high starch. This time I'm using the traditional idli rice. And then you can use any other legume. Today I have used some white beans and then 3 more grains. So I have used red rice, some oats, and this is some steel cut oats. You can use any other oats if you like. And then the quinoa. So this now is going to soak in water for about 5 to 6 hours. So now this is done. To this I'm going to add some methi seeds. Okay. And then we are also going to add some fennel. Okay. Now when it comes to spices, it really doesn't matter what recipe you're following because the proportions is good, but you can, put a little bit more, put a little bit less, it's up to you. So this is looking good. Now I'm going to put water into this. Use drinking water to soak everything because it's going to absorb. Just make sure everything is well soaked. Okay. Now this is going to soak for about 5 to 6 hours. I prefer to do it overnight. It's up to you. Don't let it soak more than 6 hours because then it'll just be mushy. But after about 6 hours, this is what it's going to look like. You have to get rid of the soaking liquid. And after that, this is what it's going to look like. It'll be nice and absorbed and ready to become a batter. Okay. So once this is done, I have actually already drained the soaking liquid in this. Once this is done, you are going to puree this completely into a batter. You can use a mixie if you want. And then you're going to cover it like I have with this plate. And then put it somewhere warm to ferment for about 5 to 6 hours or overnight. In the winters, it might take a longer time. In summers, it will get done very quickly. So just keep an eye on that. And then this is what you have, as you can see, nice and bubbly. fermented. If you can just hear the sound. This is why it's really good for your gut, because fermented foods is really good for your stomach. So this is what we have. Now I'm just going to clear this up and then we'll start making our dosa. Now to my final batter, which is fermented, we are going to add salt. Now you don't ever add salt before, because then your batter will be a really sour flavor. And you don't want that. Nobody wants, like, your batter will have a sour flavor and nobody wants that. Just reducing this. So just adding the salt. And now I have a non-stick pan here, which is well used, as you can see. And then we are just going to take this and then just, as quickly as possible, spread that around. Okay. And then I'm using some sesame oil today. You can use some coconut oil, that's the traditional one. Sesame and coconut is the traditional one, and then you add just a little of oil all around. And then just let it cook on one side just for about, like, you know, a minute or so. It depends on how hot your pan is. If your pan is too hot, then you won't be able to spread the batter around, so don't do that. Okay. Another thing I want to talk to you about while that's cooking is that this batter should have this thickness. Can you see that? Now, if it is any thicker than this, then you want to add some water to this. If it's any thinner than this, then you might have to ferment it for a little bit longer so that it becomes a little thick. Now that this is done, I'm switching the heat off first and then just gently pull this up and just flip it over, just like that. And then I'm putting the heat on medium again, and we're going to cook that for a couple of seconds, because once this side is cooked, you don't need to overly cook the other side. It's just for browning. Okay, let's check. See, that's done. And then just put it over here, and I'm just going to make one more, because who eats one dosa, right? So just one ladle full. Just like so. And then we're going to add some oil. Okay. Let it cook. It's the same thing. Now, while that cooks, let's talk about this guy here. This is called molaga podi, which is a traditional kind of lentil and seed mixture. Like, some people even add nuts to this. If you want a recipe for this, let me know in the comments down below and I'll share it with you in another video. But traditionally, this is what we have for breakfast. And this is looking good. You know, once your pan gets nicely heated, then you can just churn out dosa after dosa very easily. So, and this batter is going to stay good in your fridge for a very long time. Maybe even up to, you know, a week, 2 weeks. It usually never lasts that long at our house. Okay, flip it over. Smells amazing. This is like our standard breakfast. And when you make a big batch of the batter, you can just, you don't have to think about what you want to do the next day for breakfast. You know what I mean? You can actually just serve it with masala, like, you know, you can serve it with any curries or anything. It's up to you. Okay, this is It's looking done. Switching this off. So guys, this needs a little bit of oil in the center. Okay. Now that is my dosa recipe. It looks like breakfast and I'm really hungry. It's really hot right now. Make this recipe, your family is going to absolutely enjoy it. It's really nutritious. It's not just carbs, it has like all of these fibrous deliciousness. Once you make this recipe, click a picture, send it to me on Facebook, Instagram, wherever, #Smriti Special, so I can see your recreations. Like, comment, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more delicious recipes. I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.